We live on the third floor of a women-only dorm where the doors are hollow, the corridor hums all night, and no men are allowed past the lobby. It's the kind of place where whispers carry farther than shoes do. Pim is my roommate, and the brave half of us, quick with a smile, hair tie always on her wrist, the person who remembers soup when I forget to eat. When she comes home late, she uses our code, 2 soft taps, so she won't wake the floor. I was supposed to be the one who went out. Fever snaps the world into frames. You breathe, and the room shifts a fraction left. Pim told me to stay. I'll grab noodles, 20 minutes. She was already slipping her sandals on, humming the hook from some student band, tying her hair with the elastic she kept on her wrist. Our dorm is the kind where doors weigh nothing and walls weigh less. After midnight, the fluorescents hum like a dentist drill. Girls whisper in kitchens, kettles hiss, then everything goes flat. I texted her tom yum or boat noodles and watched the dots bloom. A message arrived, hold the door, I'm almost, but I didn't open it. The first time I heard it, I thought it was the fan clicking. Knock. A pause. Knock. Then a slow, textured sound, like fabric pulled across a wet floor. Drag. I pulled my blanket to my chin and told my skin to calm down. Someone down the hall must be moving a box. Someone dropped a hairbrush, knocking twice, then scooting it back with a foot. The air smelled like soup, star anise, and chili oil. I told myself that made sense. Pim would be back any second, steaming plastic crinkling in her hands. I shut my eyes and listened to the hum. The pattern returned, closer. Knock, knock, drag. Not a box, not a broom. The knocks weren't wood. They were softer, wet. That tiny, sticky sound when flesh meets tile. My door moved a millimeter with each scrape, the latch complaining in its slot. I put my eye to the peephole. The corridor lensed itself into a fishbowl. Nothing. The light was a cold river, washing the door frames, the exit at the far end, a shadow where the floor dips near the mop closet. No feet, no ankles. Something tapped the bottom of my door. Twice. Knock. Knock. I jumped and stifled a yell in the blanket. My fever made the edges sparkle, then drag again, slow and long. I wanted to say her name. I wanted to unlock and fling it wide, and I couldn't, because I am not the brave one. I am the one who stayed home. At 1:14 a.m., the dorm line chat pinged. Anyone hear sirens? Road near the shops blocked. Helmet guy, speeding. He almost turned into our gate. The resident advisor told everyone to stay inside, no exceptions. No men are allowed past the lobby. We all know that. But someone in the chat said they'd seen a man pacing outside at 11, pretending to check his phone. I put my phone face down. The smell got stronger. Chili oil, and something like coins. I don't remember falling asleep. In the morning, I nearly tripped on it, a clear bag tied in a knot, set neatly against my threshold. The lid inside had fogged, broth condensed on the plastic. Resting under the knot were 2 wooden chopsticks crossed like a little X. I touched the bag, and my fingers came away orange. There was a faint streak across the tile, as if someone had dragged the bag along and set it down carefully. Pim wasn't answering texts or calls. The message, "Hold the door, I'm almost," still waited in the chat like a dried leaf. I ate the noodles cold on the bed because I didn't know what else to do, and the smell roiled in my stomach until I cried. By noon, the dorm knew breaks move faster than official notices. Near the road by the convenience store, police tape. A scooter on its side. A girl, no name given, but everyone's eyes slanted toward our floor. A man dead near the gate after crashing at speed. No one said the other part out loud. We didn't have to. The neighbor across from me knocked. She looked like she hadn't slept. Last night, she whispered, glancing toward the corridor. I got up to pee, and I heard something. She made a face like she wanted to take the words back. I looked out, and I saw someone. A woman. She was pushing herself. She tried to show me with her hand, palm flat, then she ducked her chin to the back of her hand and shoved. Like, face down, with her chin, something hanging from her mouth. I didn't see clearly. The lights flickered. She swallowed. Maybe I dreamt it. I told her I'd heard it too. I didn't tell her about the bag at my door. I didn't tell her that the knocks felt small and tender, and that twice the sound rested exactly where Pim would put her knuckles when she came home and didn't want to wake anyone. 2 taps, her secret code. In the afternoon, the resident advisor gathered us in the lobby and spoke in a flat, careful way, the way adults use when the floor is already breaking. There had been a violent assault on the road near the dorm. A student was killed. The man suspected had died in a crash when he tried to flee. We're cooperating with the police, she said, and we're here if anyone needs support. Behind her, the glass showed the gate with its yellow arm scuffed from a fresh impact. The fluorescent hum felt louder than her voice. That night, my fever broke, but sleep didn't come. I lay with my ear to the door and fought my breathing until it matched the corridor's electrical whine. Midnight poured in thin as water under the door. I said her name once, in a whisper too small to count. Nothing answered. At 12:37, the corridor's light blinked, the way it does when someone is walking beneath it, except there was no shadow. The smell arrived a second before the sound, broth gone metallic, a sour warmth and the pepper of chili oil. Then, knock, soft, not knuckle on wood, skin on tile. Knock, careful, like someone tapping twice to ask permission. Silence, full and listening. Drag. A slow pull and the faint scuff of plastic catching and releasing. The rhythm was halting. Knock, knock, drag, pause. Knock, knock, drag. Getting closer. I pressed my fingers to the bottom of the door. The tile on my side was cool. I felt, through the wood and the gap, the barest tremble as something nudged the other side, then settled there. I unlocked the door and opened it a hand's breadth. Nothing stood in the hall. Of course not. The air outside my door shifted unnaturally. On the tile, just beyond my doorway, I noticed 2 small, damp spots positioned side by side, resembling the outline of a jawbone. Then, a thin trail of orange, a shallow crescent where a plastic handle had dragged. Lower down, more damp dots, and another crescent appeared, suggesting a face that briefly pressed down and lifted repeatedly to move forward. I opened the door wider. "Pim?" I said, the first time I let the word be a word. "I'm here." For a second, the corridor's hum bent around a shape I couldn't see. The air leaned away from me, then toward me, like someone nodding from the floor. The smell brightened, then receded. I swallowed. "Thank you," I said, my voice breaking on the second syllable. "I'm sorry I didn't..." Somewhere down at the far end, the exit sign pulsed. The hall breathed. The next morning, the resident advisor told us what the police believed. The man had headed for the dorm after the attack, toward us, but had crashed at the gate as if he'd swerved to avoid something in the road. A figure, someone said, but no one wanted that word. A set of blurred CCTV frames showed a pale smear across the lane at knee height, like a spill of light. The guard on duty said he almost opened the gate early because he thought a delivery driver was coming in fast, but the driver laid the bike down at the last second and hit the barrier, and then there was only the fence, the man, and the quiet. I brought the empty noodle bag to the sink and washed it until it didn't smell anymore. The chopsticks left faint dents in the plastic where they'd been pressed to keep it neat. That night, I set a bowl on the floor just inside my door in case there was anything left in the world that could be poured back. I didn't expect anything. I said thank you again and good night, and I slept with the door unlocked for the first time since I had the fever. It's quiet now. Mostly. Some nights, the motion lights ripple on with no footsteps. I leave a bowl by the door and sleep. At dawn, the bowl is empty. 2 faint, damp dots bloom on the inside of my door at knee height, and a thin orange crescent stains the tile. My door chain is cinched with a black hair tie, not mine, pulled into a small, careful knot. On my pillow rests a dry, clear, plastic knot of a bag, folded neatly, the chopsticks crossed like an X. My phone wakes. The unsent draft finishes itself. Hold the door, I'm almost, and stops. Far down the hall, knock, knock, drag, moving past my room toward another door. I whisper, thank you, and turn the chain. The hair tie tightens by itself,